gentlemen, I am Christopher Pelton here, the captain of Captain N to Neil. I am also the host for THC Time. It is my great pleasure to be coming to you this week. I have some tremendous guests on my show. Later on today, we'll be talking with producer and actress Nicole Vegas. But before we do, I have a tremendous author guest today. Bobbi Murphy has written some books. They're transformative. I honestly believe that these books should be read by every woman out there. They tell a story of strength and fighting and just a remarkable will to live and become one of the most amazing people I've ever met. Join me in welcoming the delightful Mrs. Bobbi Murphy. Welcome to THC Time.
Thank you.
Well, since we really talked the last time, the fourth Bonnie book has come out.
Yes.
And that was the conclusion of the series.
It was.
Okay. How long was the process from finishing of the first book until the finishing of the last book?
The first book was really a fast write for me. It only took me a couple of weeks. Then I took some time off after writing the first one because there's a lot of hard stuff that I cover in that. And so I took about 6 months off, I want to say, after the first one before I really dove into the second one. The second one, I was actually writing why a lot of events that some of the characters revolve around, dealing with a lot of stuff from them. So I went overboard with it. Not really, I wouldn't say overboard. It ended up being a little over 600 pages, I want to say. And we had an issue with Amazon. A lot of the books were getting sent back because it was such a thick book that I had to figure out how to split
the binding.
that 2 books in half because, the binding was not holding up with that many pages. So I got some help with that. I figured out where I wanted to split it. So book 2 ended up becoming book 2 and 3. The last one, I think I struggled with the most for some reason. I kept writing it, deleting it, writing it, deleting it. I think it was the fear of closing that chapter that I struggled with the most. But then I decided to write book 4 from probably not the most conventional point of view. I actually wrote it because a lot of times when a lot of people go to counselors and stuff, we tend to want that kept confidential, and I let a lot of that out in that book. I mean, the bulk of the book is based around counseling session because I didn't want to have to dive too deep, because I don't want to ever give anybody the illusion that once you walk away from those types of things that a magical wand gets cast over you and everything's peachy clean, because you still got a long road of struggling and stuff. And so I was really careful. I want to be very careful to let people know that even though you're away from that toxicity, you still need that help.
Sure. And I noticed the inclusion of several hotline numbers as the last page in each of the books. That seems to be a very important cause, something that you hold dear to your heart. How did you get involved in that type of?
I really, the way I was brought up and raised, you weren't made aware of that. And even as a child speaking out, I was made very well clear, you don't speak about that. I wanted whoever reads those books, I want to make sure they have that information. Because I think even, because it's like, it's 2024, about to be 2025. There is still a lot of small towns. Those hotline numbers are not readily available to people. So if by any chance anybody's out there that is in the back of the book, use it if you need it.
Excellent. Now, your work has gotten a lot of recognition. I know that you've amassed a pretty sizable following, and your work has been recognized. You've done a lot of work with St. Jude's Charity and with Carnival Cruise Lines. Now, the last time I saw you, you and your family were getting ready to go on one of those cruises to promote your work. And then the next thing I saw was that you guys were trapped at sea or lost at sea because you found yourselves in the middle of a hurricane. So what, how, like that's the pictures that I saw were harrowing. The few posts that I saw from you guys were definitely concerning. What was going on? Like, what was that like?
When me and my family, we went across to you, we were actually on a miniature book tour. And the last pit stop was actually for Atlantis Island, which after the Carnival cruise incident, me and my son decided to stay back. We go on Carnival cruises a lot, and it's so important for us to get the bonding stories out and any other, we like to have, every once in a while, we like to take other indie authors' books on to promote them as well. But we like to raise money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. That's so important to us. My very first child, I actually lost. So St. Jude's is extremely important.
Sure.
But yeah, we went out there we left through Jacksonville, Florida. The coast was clear from the hurricane, and the next thing we know, they were actually prepping the lifeboats, and it was a scary situation. So yeah, we hunkered down, we made it through. We didn't hit our target for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, obviously, because
well, sure,
it was pretty fearful out there, but we still did do our best to keep everybody hyped up and promote some authors, including the Bonnie series, and do what we could do for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. But yeah, that was a scary situation. We ended up way off course, close to Cuba. So we had the Coast Guard keeping a very, very close eye on us, because
sure.
I guess
Yeah,
that's not the most friendliest territory to be in at the time. But it was definitely a fear. We ended up hitting land, had to run straight back to our house to unload, rewash everything, and we didn't even have time. Well, my daughter and my husband, they didn't even have time to get their sea leg or the land legs back. They still definitely had sea legs before they went to go handle this Atlantic Island, I keep calling Atlantis, event for me, and they did quite well. Because, when we do these book tours, sometimes they are like bookstores and stuff like that. And sometimes we always definitely try to take the crew with me when I'm speaking to women groups and churches and stuff, because, you're dealing with some pretty heavy subjects when you're talking about the Bonnie series. And it could be emotionally draining. So definitely have to have a support system around me all the times, because I still get choked up talking about
sure.
that stuff. So, it's you don't heal. You just learn how to live with it.
Now, a couple of interesting things have happened. And this is one of the things that it's a small world, folks. That there's no, like, how did you end up meeting Brianna Ellis?
Brianna Ellis, I met her, oh God, I'm going to say about 5 years ago, before her husband passed away. She was one of the supporters who really, because I was just thinking about writing the Bonnie story, and her and a few other people were like, do it. I would send a couple of pages to Brianna, and then I'm like, no, they're not good enough. Let's just scrap this idea. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough and stuff. Yeah, if it wasn't for her and a couple of other support systems, the Bonnie series probably wouldn't have never made it to the light.
For the great sleuths in the world, Brianna Ellis, at one point in time, was my sister-in-law. She was married to my first wife's brother. This is like 25 something years ago. This is a long time ago. And they didn't stay married together much longer than her and me and my first wife stayed married together. But yeah, so that was why when I saw her name pop up in, I don't know if it was a reissue of the Bonnie books or somewhere I saw it. Oh, it was in Sick and the Sainted, which we'll get to in just a second. So I was like, no. And I reached out to her and yeah, sure as shit. I was like, oh, all right, well, very cool.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a small world. It's an even smaller writing world. So you wrapped Bonnie
Mhm.
and then you jumped into the horror pool with both feet and you put out a nasty little collection of short stories. What was the inspiration behind your work in Sick and the Sainted? And I'll ask, who is Jagger Mason?
Jagger Mason, and I'm going to be very careful how I word this. Jagger Mason is a person who chooses, who does not socialize very well, does not like to be in public, does not people phobias. They, yeah, it was I want to write. Let's, and came up with some shorts for me, and was pretty impressed. So I'm like, yeah, we'll see what I could do, and we collab quite well. And the thing that I love working with Jagger is that if they talk to you,
Mhm.
listen and be very honored that they are talking to you. There's a lot of people out there in the world who is very, very silent,
Right.
but they are some remarkable people. I understand their fear about being in the limelight, and because I struggle with that as well. Great person. Jagger is a great person, and I am honored that they wanted to work with me. So yeah, we put out a nice little ditty of a horror book.
Yeah, yeah. How is your transition from? I mean, because I mean, Bonnie was horrific, but not what people see as horror, in the genre sense.
Right.
How's horror been treating you?
Or it's not bad. And I've taken a major step back, and it's nothing against anybody else. Like I said, I struggle with. I think when you're messing with the internet world, you need to be very, very careful.
Sure.
And I recently learned that over the hard way, because I am the type of person who believes in being professional at all times. I think I'm just trying to find my footing, I guess is what it is. People don't understand me, and that's okay. I don't expect anybody to understand me in any aspects, because I'm a very unique person, and I think it's okay to be a very unique person. But no, I think I'm to the point where I just like writing a little bit of everything. I don't want to be known just for. I think I'm hoping one day the Bonnie series will get out there, but I want to give everybody a taste of something. I'm actually just got them releasing a funny, I don't know if you call it horror comedy or whatever.
Hold that thought. We're going to take a quick commercial break, then we'll be right back, and we'll talk about that.
Perfect.
And we're back. So you went from Bonnie to Sick and the Sainted, and then did this delightful young lady. Now, I know that the first book is out, The Truth About Werewolves. Tell me how that came about.
Basically, I needed get away from doing the Bonnie. And I think a lot of times when you're writing some dark, heavy stuff, it tends to open up old wounds,
Sure.
and it's like pouring salt on it. So Pixie was like a saving grace in a sense because she's funny. She touches on stuff that makes me turn red in the face. And she's just fun,
Right.
and you leave everything that's going on in the outside world or what's brewing inside of you, you leave that at the door because Pixie is just fun. Even when she's going off on somebody, it's so funny the way she does it. So I like embodying Pixie quite a bit. There's a lot of stuff that I have to look up because Pixie's very well experienced in a lot of stuff that I'm not. So it makes me blush quite a bit. I love writing Pixie. Pixie is fun. She's a nice little getaway. And I know we're talking about Pixie, but I also want to take the moment when we met you saw me at the event. Jack, my husband, he ended up having a little medical emergency while I was doing some speaking, and I appreciate you stepping in to handling that, keeping everybody and staying with him. He appreciates that quite a bit. So
More
thank
than
you.
happy. More than happy to help. More than happy to help. You've got a great plan there. So you
Thank
know,
you.
keep them close to you because they're a good bunch. I know the kids can be a little ruckusy, but that's kids. Kids can
Mm,
be, even when
yeah,
they're older, they can still be. Mine's 28 and she's a pain in the ass. So, so
absolutely.
that's it was absolutely my pleasure though. So I know that the first Pixie book came out, and I know that you're also doing a monthly blog, which is available through your website.
Yes, that's www.bobbymurphybooks.com. That's listed on the screen right underneath my name there. There's a Patreon. You'll get all the updates. Hopefully, my schedule will get full again, like it got last year or this summer for events. I don't know if I would be doing as many. I'm hoping to. If I do, they will be more of the church groups,
Yep.
the women's groups, stuff like that. Because I think those events are quite important. But there will also be candles and merchandise listed on there. I'm just trying to get my 23-year-old to do the photos for me. But we got some really, really cool candles that look like Pixie candles. I think we're going to be doing a box set with the Pixies candles. So we're trying to figure that out. We're
Cool.
kind of new to it still. But we got candles that smell like coffee, look like coffee. We hot chocolate, Fruit Loop candles, which are so cute. My boy actually helps makes those. And
Nice.
I think my son, he wrote a book, Mixture Socks Big Adventures, and I don't know where it's at. I will probably be putting that up there as well to give a kid a shot. He wants to be a
Yeah,
writer. So
absolutely.
um, I'll probably be tossing that up there too, and hopefully get him on some events as well while he's out of school. So
Sure.
we
That would
will
be very
see.
cool. That would be very
Absolutely.
cool. All right. So we have reached the time of the evening where it's time to play our favorite game here at THC Time. It is time for Straight Fire.
What if CAT really spelled dog?
All right, here we go. Straight fire, 5 random questions, no wrong answers, nothing serious. Don't take too long to think about anything. First question and the last question are always the same. So, very first question I like to ask everybody: if dogs wore pants, would they wear them on 2 legs or 4 legs?
Well, they would wear overalls or suspenders or something. They wouldn't. But just bib overalls is my
Bib
thing.
overalls? All right, all right.
Yeah.
That leaves their front legs still free.
Yeah, absolutely. They gotta have the pocket for the goodies and the snacks, and I don't know if dogs got catnips or maybe they just smoke a little
Maybe.
joints here and there. I don't know.
I know I have joints for my cats.
Yeah, well, there's lots of those paintings around with the dogs playing poker, smoking. So
No,
I'm sure
yeah,
they're not cigarettes.
yeah, probably not. Although maybe the person who was painting them was smoking. Because
Mm.
speaking of snacking, when you're working, what are you snacking on?
York peppermint patties.
The sensation of being on top of a mountain.
Yes.
I got it. I got you. What's your favorite guilty pleasure movie?
I don't get to watch a lot of movies.
All right.
But if I would have to say, my go-to cry movie, because us girls, we like to cry every once in a while. Oh, it was just in the top of my head. Sandra Bullock plays in it, Matthew McConaughey, Time to Kill.
Time to Kill.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Excellent movie. Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
All right. Fast or slow zombies?
Well, I'm hoping they're slow because I'm too fat and old to run.
Remember, you don't have to be faster than the zombie, just faster than your kids.
That's true.
And of course, the last question, the question I ask everybody, when you are at the grocery store, Mrs. Bobby Murphy, can you reach the items on the top shelf?
Well, if you count, I personally can't, but I have this thing where I if I really want it, I will go down to the broom aisle and grab a broom and just knock it off. There's no point in, because you can't find no good helping nowadays. I live around a whole bunch of short people.
Yeah. I would be like king there, at least in the grocery store.
Yep.
Because that's like probably, I would say 1% of my life has probably been just getting tall shit off grocery store shelves for short people.
I just knock it off and make a mess.
Well,
Yeah.
So what are you working on?
There is actually a secret project that I'm hoping to get. I have not got it, but I'm also working on it's a little bit of a thriller, and I'm so excited about this book. It's definitely challenged me, and I like to be challenged. I like books that I have to do research on. But yeah, I think once it is released and revealed, I think people are going to be shocked that I actually got somewhat of a brain.
Oh, I know this. I know that you can do sad, you can do powerful, you can do horror, you can do comedy. So if you're telling me that you're in the process of writing a thriller, you've got my interest. So be sure I get to take a look at that. BobbyMurphyBooks.com is the website. All of your books are available there in signed editions. Very nice.
Yes.
And you have a story coming out in an anthology soon?
Yes. I'm sorry. Waverly Lane. I'm sorry. I twisted my ankle and I'm on drugs. But yes, Waverly Lane. We're going to be out probably mid-January. I'm telling you, this book is cursed. But yeah, come and be cursed with us because it's going to drop and it's going to be good and it got all the heebie-jeebies. And I'm so looking forward to that beast to be finally out. It's been almost a year in the making.
Wow.
It's been through. That book has been through hell and back to hell, and it's put through every single author through hell who got some book in there or a story in that book. So definitely check that out. I believe we have ARCs going out actually today, just to read it over for us to make sure we caught all the cross the T's and dot the I's kind of situation because it has fried computers. It's gotten lost. It's put people in hospitals. It's done the worst to the author. So definitely Waverly Lane, check that out mid-January.
Help those authors pay their hospital bills and stuff, man.
Yes, absolutely. We deserve it. We deserve that book to be number one on Amazon.
Well, when the book comes out, if you want to come back, bring your friends and talk about, little stories here and there, I am always here. My table is always welcome. It is an absolute pleasure to see you.
Thank you.
And I thank you for coming out and spending some time with us. And guys, check it out, BobbyMurphyBooks.com. Good stuff. And if you're in the Quincy, Illinois area, be sure to check out Enchanted Books, where you can get them right there in the actual bookstore. It's crazy. Folks, I am Christopher Pelton, and it has been my absolute pleasure. We're going to go out on we're not going out. We're going to a commercial break, and then we will be back with Nicole Vegas Butler. See you in a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Christopher Pelton, and I am your host here at THC Time. It is my absolute pleasure to have a guest that we have today. She is a film producer. She is an actress. She is a legitimate badass. She was trained in the Air Force and has been around the industry, has done some great stuff. So please welcome our guest tonight, Nicole Vegas. Welcome to THC Time.
Thank you so much, Christopher, for having me on. It's a pleasure. So thank you for taking the time to have me on your show.
Oh, well, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. So let's start a little bit. You were raised in Buffalo, New York.
Yes.
Which I know that part of the country. I had family from the Rome area, so I've been up that north. Nice and cold, lots of snow.
Yes, it's been a while though. I reside the last 20 years in Las Vegas.
So significant difference. Now, I also see that you were stationed in Saudi Arabia when you were in the Air Force.
I was deployed for 4 months back in '99. Now I have 2 sons that are now in the military. So.
Oh, outstanding. So living in the desert now in Las Vegas, you're used to the climate.
It's changed here. It's different than when I was in Saudi. It was near it was called Prince Sultan Air Force Base, but they closed the base near Riyadh. So it's yeah, I was a M60 military police, they used to call them, but they combined security. So then also, yeah. What have you learned about me? I'm kind of.
I just like the little bits here and there. I read that you were a police officer in Las Vegas as well. Correct. And for a while held the most dangerous of jobs of being a postal worker.
The worst job, I think. That was the most. It was actually a mail handler. I wasn't a carrier, and that's different.
Okay.
Warehouse, and it's not good condition. So I'm glad not to be there anymore.
Fair enough. So how did you get into the industry? Like, what was your kickoff into film?
So what happened is I met someone, his name is Corey Thompson, who's my first film friend, and we went volunteering to do this base scenario exercise with a real life. It's a Army base, and they needed people to volunteer. It was like $100 for 3 hours or something. And I met him because I like Freakin' Brothers Haunted Houses. If you ever come to Vegas, Franklin Brothers is my favorite, ultimate #1 haunted attraction.
All right.
Shared Julie Goldman. So I signed up with Julie Goldman that does casting out here in Las Vegas.
Mhm.
And my very first set was The Cleaning Lady. It was a pilot back then. I think they're into the 3rd season now. And I didn't know what I was doing. They bumped me. They gave me my first Taft-Hartley. They paired me with this young guy, and I was very confused. I'm like, is this a cougar scene? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm your mother's age. But I was like, can I hold your arm? Because I don't know what I'm doing. And because they're like, go to 3, go to 2, reset. I'm like, I don't know what they're saying. Pantomime. I'm like, reset? What's going on? So from there, though, I ended up taking a lot of acting classes. My first acting coach was Paul Campanella. And then I went to Dream Tracks with Billy McInerney, William McInerney, aka Billy. He just did his a TV series and a feature film called The Trouble with Billy. And he's been in very well known. I didn't know at the time what an opportunity it was to learn from somebody like him. Phenomenal. And Frank Perillo owns that Dream Tracks out here. So there's
Nice.
always ways to get help and learn character development, character history, character arc. There's a lot table reads. It really helps when you are reading back and forth with somebody to get more into your character role and to understand the storytelling behind it. So
Sure. And it's a continual process as an
Forever,
actor.
never.
You're constantly striving for the next role, the next. I did this really well. Now the next time I want to do this better than.
I just didn't know. So everything was new to me. I didn't want to do, I just wanted to learn. So that part of me was pretty phenomenal. The rest, then I wanted to learn stunts. So I went with Alan Woodman, and he taught me arm burns and high falls and fighting tactics and rolls. And it just teaches you a little bit more. And then I learned to be a talk show host too. And I had a red carpet fence, and I just didn't know what area. And then I became PA, which is a great work, and then I learned a little bit of grip assistant and transportation and crafty. And then Sean C. Phillips gave me the first opportunity to work with him on what we have is Desert Fiends. I got to share it because it's pretty cool, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of Desert Fiends, let's take a look at the trailer.
sweet.
Now, the movie's done, right? It's out or coming out very soon.
It's not coming out till Gravitas was supposed to have it out the 10th, but then they switched it to, they're not sure what time they're going to release it in the beginning of 2025, which is next month. I don't know. Yeah.
All right, cool. And this is your first film as a full-on producer.
Main, like the top, like you can't put the torch to anybody else. There's nobody, whatever handle, you got to handle it. Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. That's exciting. Let's take it up.
If I was such a big fucking loser, how would I have managed to score 6 of the hottest tickets in town? This is a very exclusive, very lit music festival that takes place out in the middle of the Nevada desert.
Wonderful! I heard about the festival through the grapevine. I know a shortcut. You turn right over there in the dirt road. You'll save 40 minutes.
What a bunch of idiots.
Yes, they are!
Breaker, 6-9. It's Papa Bear. Good news. There's a rock and roll concert near base camp. Even better news. We're gonna eat for a fucking long time.
Woo! So that is not the main trailer, only because Gravitas is going to release it the way they want it, because you're not supposed to show any kills, I found out.
Ah.
exciting. So there's a little like, who knows, we're finding out what we can and can't do. It's
Impressive cast. A lot of very talented folks. Scout Taylor Thompson was great in Halloween. Eric Roberts, I love Eric Roberts. It's a very, very fun group. How is the process now in your first time as main producer? How does that differ from what you had been doing previously?
well, pretty much many hats. So when you're doing a micro low budget indie film, you really don't know what you're going to raise. So we do the campaigning. This is less than 2 years in when Sean asked me to be part of this. And I was like, if you come out to Vegas, I will help you out in every way possible. And I asked him recently, I was like, what made you trust somebody who had less than 2 years in showbiz? Who would do that? Because I don't think I would do that. But he did. And we didn't know. I went and looked at the locations and I booked them. And then we talked about hiring people. So we went back and forth with deal contracts and just to see what would fit in the time frame and what areas they want to be casting. Because when you're doing these Indiegogo's where they do the perks as well,
right,
people are written in the script. So it gives them opportunity. A lot of people, some people don't like it. Other people are so grateful that they get the opportunity to be into a feature film.
Sure.
And they didn't know who was going to be in it. A lot of people didn't know that Scout Taylor they didn't know. And they didn't know that Tom Arnold. And they didn't, there's a whole bunch of people that had no idea that was coming into this. And it was really cool because it was almost like all that hard work. And then on those set days, it was like a film. Actually, it is a film family. It's like a film fiend family. The Fiend family is here. And so Sean C. Phillips and his brother, Ethan Phillips. So Sean directs it, but him and his brother, Ethan, will write it, which is really cool. So when they were sharing it, like Sean was sharing it with me, I saw the video, I saw it. I could picture all the locations. And then I went out there and I took the pictures to show him, this is what I'm picturing it to be. And he liked it. And we filmed March 26th. And the first person on set were Tom Arnold and William McNamara. And if you look up William McNamara, that was one of my acting coaches. It's funny, I was having to hire him. He goes, Nicole, I don't work for Peanuts. And I was like, well, we'll hire Peanuts. So that could have worked out. But there's so much to it. It's not just, it's the campaigning, the marketing, the locations, the permits, the insurance, the LLCs, the proper paperwork. If you're on a set and they don't have any talent release forms, crew release forms, they're not going to finish it. It just won't happen. Right. You definitely have to have that if you're ever going to get picked up for distribution. So this distribution is another beast. You have to have everything, all the names and number of people matched up with all the release forms that we have to have and submit to them. Right, because they can't take the risk. And they won't. So just doing it by the books. Doing the groundwork is a lot of work, but it counts in the end. Absolutely. I'm so grateful. And then we ended up, because, for Gravitas, I think it was like 14,000 for distribution. It's not like they pick it. Oh yeah, there's a lot of things. And I think with everything they want to switch with the posters and the EOAs and all these other allegations, it added up quick. And then we did a red carpet recently on Friday the 13th, which was pretty cool. Yeah. And that's how I got my mutant family, missing Brett Wagner, which is Papa. I have to order him still, but they're great. Jeff Webb played amazing. I can't wait for you to see it. I mean, we want to in the sequel that we're going to be doing campaigning next month. I think the 10th. And then we're going to film in April for 2 weeks. We have Dirty Joe Gonzalez. And then we have, I don't want to give their names away until you watch it. And this is Zach Vasquez. And this is actually, I made some, the hockey mask I got from Wally that's at Tom Devlin's Monster Museum in Boulder City. Nice. So come out, Tom Devlin, I didn't know how much talent he was besides special effects. And he has his own Monster Museum with all these cool, movies from like the 80s, like Ghoulies and They Live and, all the Michael Myers and Exorcist, it just goes on and on and on. It's pretty cool to, once you start meeting people, just kind of like unraveling just the creativity side and the connections and the collaboration. And then it's almost like you can't turn off your brain sometimes. Nope. So there's so much work to do. I understand. When in April are you filming? Because as it turns out, I will be in Vegas.
in April next year.
Oh wow!
I've got a one of my author clients is going to be doing an event, and with any luck, then his new book will be ready.
What's his new book? Just put it out there.
The author, his name is Paul Roma. He was a professional wrestler. He was with the WWF. He was with WCW during the height of the 80s and early 90s. So it's going to be a tremendous book. There's a big event going on out there in April.
Oh, I did hear about that. I'm going to wait for BetTix and see if I can get some BetTix because it's VETTIX for any military veterans. They can sign up, and instead of spending like $150, $200, whatever it is, it's only $15 per ticket.
Nice, very nice.
Affordable. But yeah, I remember those WWF things. Yep. My brother used to camel clutch and figure 4 and do all this horrible stuff to me. So yeah.
So I will be in Vegas in April. So we might have to.
I think to the 19th or something, or 18th, because I think right around after that date is Easter. So we didn't want to film during Easter.
Okay, and my birthday is actually on the 11th. So
oh yeah, see,
figure that out.
Yeah,
I like it. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to look at a couple more trailers. We're going to talk about a few more things. So, folks, check this out. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. And I don't know, it's a weird thing sometimes.
It was glitching, huh? You'll figure it out. And if you get it figured out, I'll just pause it and you do your.
Yeah, it's all good. You know how we do. It's
I do.
So it's fun though. That's the whole thing. Involved with another film that I'd actually been following for a while on Facebook. Skate to Hell was brought to my attention. At least 6 months ago, at least. And Sweet. I've been following the progress that you guys are having on that film, and we've got a trailer here for that. So let's take a look. This is Skate to Hell.
It'll be a great fucking day.
Get on that horse! What? Yeah!
No, listen, man, it's this board. It's got some kind of unholy power, dude. It can send people straight to hell.
My head was somewhere else.
Let me out of here! You got me into this, didn't you? Maybe you can get me out then.
We're here for one reason and one reason only. To find my son.
Holy shit!
Cut, cut, cut! Damn it to hell! Take it from the top.
The fuck you mean cut? That shit was pure cinema.
I can't believe that old dusty fool Jim Seamstress is back to making films again.
Who would watch a movie like this? You would have to be insane.
So, do you think the large should be more? Nah, they're like the same price. Same price.
Oh boy. Yep, that was a fun scene at the end.
So Sean's a busy guy.
Always busy, and he's always helping other people out too, which I really admire. He's always sharing, helping, stepping up, giving insights. So and also he's really cool as a director where if someone feels nervous, he can always redirect it to where they can get something done then. Because there's always something that happens and you got to kind of flow with it. But that was a very creative film, huh?
I like it. I like it a lot.
It's so creative and so much fun. And that was like 9 locations though. That was a lot of 9
Wow.
locations in 2 weeks. So it was.
That is wow. That is a lot. Yeah. So you've been doing movies now for a while.
Like 4 years in February.
All right. And what have been some of your more favorite, like what are some of your favorite shoots, or what sets, and like who have you met that's been a pleasure, and like.
So well, the one, but then they like took up my line, and a couple like oh yeahs was Back on the Strip. I enjoyed working with Kevin Hart, pretty solid guy. Recent film that I came to be cast on, I'm very thankful. I want to say to Michael and Sunny Mahal, the Mahal brothers, is Alien Horde. They're close to like 20 feature films. They've been working really hard. They're based in Las Vegas. And I just want to say Michael Mahal helped us too with the distribution. It connected us to one of his lawyers because we didn't know. We'd never done it before.
Sure.
And I want to say thank you to him because you know what? Like it does help when there's somebody like, hey, this is what I've done, and this is how you can go if you want to take. And I was like, yes, I do. Because they've been very successful, and especially that last one I shared with you was Alien Horde.
Yep.
By Brandon Slagle, and I'd work on any of his sets too. Brandon Slagle.
Let's take a look at Alien Horde.
Inhabitants of Intruzone, we now hold the power to destroy your capital planets and your suns. Surrender now, or the blood of 1,000 planets will spill.
Remember Nova? I do. I need you to find him. He's our best shot at putting together a team that can track down the Reapers. What'll it be? I'm looking for Nova.
Poor pretty boy.
You gotta pay your taxes.
How much?
The Reapers breached the neutral zone. We're putting together a team to stop them.
I'm in.
What's up?
Reapers.
Party.
We getting the band back together or what? Where's Nova?
Thought you were done with the war.
If we fail, that's it. It's over. For everyone.
Here we go!
I know that, but you don't think you're coming home.
Keep your eyes on the prize.
Let's go.
Nova here. We've got your back.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
It was the best set I've ever been on, just to let you know. That one.
Yeah,
You just saw it.
that
It
was cool.
epic. If there's another word beyond that, that would be it then, because it was phenomenally good. Like I wouldn't usually just say that, but I was like, usually there's hiccups and stuff on set, but it was good, it was smooth, and I was very impressed. So yeah, now that and I know Brandon Slagle is doing the editing, and they did the teaser trailer. I was like, we want more. I was like,
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hooked. I want to see where that goes. So I'll have to find that and follow along. All right. So what we're going to do now, we're going to play a fun little game I like to play with all my guests. It's called Straight Fire.
What if CAT really spelled dog?
It's 5 random questions, no wrong answers, nothing serious. I'm not a gotcha guy. First question and last question are always the same. So let's start off with question number 1. If dogs wore pants, would they wear them on 2 legs or 4 legs?
2, because it's covering their privates.
That is the most common answer. One time somebody told me that they wear pants on the back 2 legs and like a little jacket on the front. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's nice.
I like that.
Very stylish, though.
Yeah.
What's your favorite guilty pleasure movie?
Ooh, so there's a couple of them. Can I do a couple?
Go ahead.
So my favorite is Poltergeist. It has
Okay.
always been my favorite. And then I like The House of a Thousand Corpses and Misery, which I have to watch again.
Excellent. I just watched Poltergeist again for the first time in a while, a couple weeks ago. And every time I see that movie, I forget that the parents are just rolling a joint. Like right in the beginning of the movie, they're just sitting on the bed rolling a joint. And I'm like, I saw this movie when I was like 8, and it was okay for me to see it when I was 8. Like it wasn't. So what the hell? And then I noticed it with the other day that something had never occurred to me with A Christmas Story. On Christmas morning, the parents are sitting on the couch drinking wine. I'm like, really, guys? Like, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. It's a little early for the day, but
Oliver Robbins we got to have in Skate to Hell. That's the brother that was in Poltergeist.
oh, really?
Robbie.
Oh,
Mhm.
right on. Awesome.
Yeah.
What is your favorite method of murder?
Stabbing.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. Fast or slow zombies?
Fast.
All right. Very cool. And the last question I ask everybody. And after I ask it and you answer, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
When you're at the grocery store, Nicole, can you reach the stuff on the top shelf?
I can.
Excellent. Okay. The reason I ask is because the very first interview I did, it came up. Somebody asked that question. And I'm 6'4". So I have no problem. Yeah. Like my whole life, I go into a grocery store, there's always some little old lady who needs something. And always, I'm like, no problem. So if anybody says I'm a top shelf guy, that's why.
Oh,
Just because
well, I'm not
very-
that top shelf. I can get right to the top, but if I have to go further, then I'm going to have to climb it. But I'm 5'7", but I always wear these chunky boots that make me like 5'8", 5'9".
There you go. There you go. So that'll work. That'll work.
6'4" is so good for horror films.
Oh, yeah.
For like creatures. Did you know that?
Oh, I know. My every day that goes by lately, I find myself with more fingers and more pies. So there's a lot happening. But there's a lot happening with you. So we've got a release for Desert Fiends sometime beginning of next year.
Yes.
Can't wait for that. Are you doing an event? Is there going to be a launch, a red carpet?
I already did the red carpet. And I shared it on my page, Nicole Butler Vegas.
Okay.
Because Nicole Butler is my producing side. Nicole Vegas is my actress professional name.
Certainly.
I know everyone's like, "Who are you, Tim?" I'm like, find out.
Just keep them guessing.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I'm guessing for myself. People are like, "Do you know who I am?" I'm like, I don't even know who I am half these days. So no, I don't know anything right now. I don't even know why I'm here. What's happening? So next month, I don't know if you ever been to any of the Days of the Dead. They have it from the 17th to the 19th at the Plaza Hotel here in Las Vegas.
Okay.
All military veterans are free and children 12 and under, which is pretty cool. I'll be there with my mutants and maybe my Junior's head. Junior was a bad kid. So see what happens. Don't want to be a bad kid.
Be on the nice list, kids. Be on the nice list.
Yes. Or going to be on Krampus list. You don't want to be on
Yes. So what's in the future? What do you got bubbling on?
So the future besides that is I know I'm working with Sean C. Phillips for Desert Fiends, The Fiends, the sequel, and that'll be in April. And then I've been checking into Chase Dudley. Chase Dudley, he just had Blood on the Bleachers and a couple other films. Somebody to look into. He's been working really hard. He's putting another feature together for next year. Just something to look into. Sure. Also, Robert Lazardo, he did American Trash. And he might be working on something else. So you know what I mean? Like, it's nice to be like, oh, I think I hear something or I'm seeing something. What's happening? But I don't have anything locked in because from January to April, being a main producer, you don't have, I can't take breaks. There's a lot of things I have to do behind the scenes.
Oh, sure.
He's really busy, surprisingly really busy, and keeping people up to date or locking people in or their locations or printing out things, or if I'm having people stay at my house, whatever's going on, it keeps you going. Like a lot.
Good to stay busy though. Keeps us out of trouble.
Yeah.
Because
sometimes. I'll be like, I'm too busy. People realize, they're like, oh, well, I want to be there. I was like, they're like, I want to be at your level. I had people say that. I said, the crazy level? Because that's where I'm at. I'm like, it's not going to work anymore. I'm like, it's done. Oh, God.
But, you're having fun. You love what you do.
Actually, no, I don't have fun. It's actually all responsibility on my side.
Sure.
I did have fun, though, on Alien Horde because I was just cast in it.
Right.
However, if there's something, because some are non-unions, there's no rules, but when they're union and they're SAG, there's different rules. There's rules. Right. There's a lot of rules. I don't know if people know the difference. The only advice I could give, I know a lot of people reach out to me like, oh, I need help. I need direction. I don't know wherever you are in your area, find a casting director.
Right.
I had my first thing was I didn't have headshots. I had a selfie. I am now. I'm like, why do I have to have headshots? Why do I have to take classes? I found out why though after.
Yeah.
That first step, I was like, I don't know what's going on. And being in the military or law enforcement, I used to talk very monotone, and I used to just be this the whole time. Not much. Now more.
Now you have to emote, and you have to.
Yeah, they want more feeling. Like, oh my gosh, I would be like this, but I'm not me. I am somebody else. So know whatever you're cast in, that's not you anymore.
Right.
You are storytelling somebody, whatever role you're cast in, and do it justice. Do the research. Look at the mannerisms. Watch how people, they have certain, I'm going to say character flaws. Everybody has some kind of character flaws with them. So I like to study that. I like to pay attention with movements, body language, speech, however it gives out. Or there's a history. Sometimes you don't get a history. You can make a history to make it more believable for you to give out that energy, that being whoever you are when you're cast. So, yeah.
Nice. Excellent advice. We can find you online. What's your website?
So I'm mostly on Facebook. So Nicole Butler Vegas. And then I also have Nicole_Butler Vegas, but I usually don't use Instagram as much. I only do because there's certain people like Noel G, Leroy Dell, that's original Ghostface. So Lisa Wilcox, that they're too cool to use Facebook. So that I'm on there I have their numbers too. So it's different. I can just call them, but I'm also want to share their stuff. I want to market anybody that I feel that has brought value. There's a lot of people that I saw at those conventions between the talent or celebrity and then their fans. And there's like a phenomenon that I really am intrigued by. There's something about it that makes it so special. I'm like in awe when I see it. So I love that.
I'll tell you what it is.
Huh. Oh, finally.
The horror fans love the genre. Love it. Like unquestionably, the good, the bad, everything in between. They love it. And they hold people, in such high regard because they've provided them with
connection.
Like I recently met Bill Moseley at a show, and
Moseley.
I'm like, Otis, you're Otis, so I mean, it's like, even me, like I talk to a lot of people, I interview a lot of people, but for me, even there's still folks out there that are just like, thank you for everything you do. Thank you for,
they love that.
I had an opportunity to talk to someone who was a childhood hero of mine, and
say it. Tell me, please.
A gentleman by the name of Bill Eadie. He's wrestled under the name Axe, and part of a tag team called Demolition. They are one of the greatest tag teams of all time in the history of wrestling. And when I was growing up, and still to this day, they're my favorite of all time. But when I was growing up, I watched these guys every week on my TV. I got a chance to talk to the man yesterday, and it was just like, I'm 48 years old, and I was just marking out. I was like, oh my God, thank you. I can't believe I'm talking to you on the phone. Trying to be cool because I am a professional, but at the same time, every once in a while,
right in front of you. He's right in front of you, and you're like,
exactly. I get an opportunity like that, so it's exciting, and it's exciting to meet people, and I love talking to folks, and I want to thank you for coming out. And,
I wanted to share something too.
Sure.
Bill Moseley gave my son his first picture with one of the stills from the House of a Thousand Corpses. Nice. And my son comes around. I'm like, what is this? And it's like the corpse of a naked woman. I'm like, really? He's I'm like, yeah. My son was here. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, he's like, you're welcome. I didn't charge him. I'm like, I'm sure you didn't.
Thanks a lot, Bill.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Bill. But there's some really good people. And now that I know, a little bit of the work and dedication and sacrifice and commitment and energy, because there's a lot of energy exchange.
Oh, yeah.
There is so much of that. So I'm aware now. Unless I have so many zillion things and someone comes at me, I'm like, I'm in my moment here. Hold on a second. Let me get out of this.
Do the conventions. Get out there. Meet the fans. I mean, you'll never meet a nicer group of people who genuinely are excited.
I'm going to Days of the Dead. And then I went to Mad Monster Lee Wydell, original Ghostface.
Mm-hmm.
So we cast him in Skate to Hell too.
Nice.
Yeah, there's so many good people, and I saw it, and there's a lot of people. Actually, I was wiped out. I couldn't even last a whole day. And I was waiting at his table, and they thought I was the girl that was in the picture because I had the blonde. Yes, they're like, oh, no, it's not. That's not me. I'm just watching the table, and I'm like, he'll be back at whatever time, and he didn't. He didn't come back till 30 minutes later. So I became a liar to a lot of people.
Oh no!
But I do have my own booth, which I'll have the third year at Days of the Dead. But it's more for marketing the mutants, and then maybe I might check some talent because last time I was there, I ended up booking Jenna Jameson for Skate to Hell.
Oh, awesome!
I guess I got to meet her. So I go there to see if there's any kind of connection or if someone wants to be part of like a micro independent film. It'll be fun for them. I think she had a good. I think everybody had a good time though on Skate. I think they all did. They all like, we'll come back. We want to come back. You just can't hire everybody unless we have a bigger budget. And that.
Well, hey, that's how's the movie been accepted? Like,
we don't know. I mean, they liked it at the red carpet.
Right.
Typical 80s vibe of everything. But we don't have it released yet, so I didn't know. I was kind of nervous.
Right.
I was nervous when it released to get feedback, so I didn't know because we put so much hard work and to get the general public of streams that we haven't met yet. I don't know. I think everybody else loved it. They can't wait for number 2. Everyone's like, I want it. I'm like, hold on.
All right.
So
Excellent.
I'm gonna handle that. Sean C. Phillips.
Well, I'll tell you this. When Fiends comes out, if you want to come back, bring some of your cast with you. Bring Sean with you if he's free, and we'll talk about the movie. We'll get everybody's experience on working on it. I'd love to have you back on anytime.
Thank you, Chris.
And like I said, I will be in Vegas in April, so let's see if we can get that together. I come down to the set and visit, and meet some of the.
Yeah. It'd be like, so just so you know, and when I did that scene on Skate to Hell, it's in the trailer. It's a puking scene where I get puked in my mouth. I have the red hair. My hair's red in it. If you didn't know that's me.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Some people are like, you did. I have blue contacts. I normally have green eyes, and I had red hair and looked like a Cyndi Lauper. So I wanted real life worms and mealworms.
Oh.
Yeah, and we had 2 people puke on set from it.
Ah.
So when people really see it, and I showed a clip to my sister-in-law, her name's Melissa Napoli Butler, and she's like, Nicole, my stomach was sick for 3 hours. She goes, I can't ever watch it again. I said, I can't wait because it's non-union, and that's what I wanted. I wanted a little bit more, and I was inspired by Drag Me to Hell.
Good movie.
Really good movie. I'm gonna watch it afterwards, but I do have to pack for tomorrow. Whatever they want me to do. I kind of pre-did the hair, and it's gonna be like 5 a.m. heading out.
Well, it'll be a good it'll be a good time, and it was an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much.
we will talk. There's always stuff going on, so we should definitely talk.
I'm looking forward to meeting you. So
yes, and then we will make that happen in April, and I will come out and we'll do that. So I'm going to go out now, folks, with a quick commercial break. And again, Nicole, thank you so much for your time tonight. And be sure to tune in every Saturday night at 8 p.m. on YouTube at the Horror Connection. And the show's going great. People are digging it. And let's keep that positivity going, folks. Again, I am Christopher Pelton. This is Nicole Vegas, and I'll see you next time.